My mother was a born Catholic.
And he was born in Ireland?
No, he was born in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
His father immigrated from Ireland. Was the black sheep of the family. He ended up in Toronto, started a brewery, like every good Irishman.
Did, yeah.
And during the Depression, like the same way the Dawes family, you know, the smaller breweries were swallowed up. They say that a pregnant pause is very useful.
Dramatic effect, that's right.
Harrison, stop hitting more.
In any case, Vincent Cosgrave, so that's great-great-grandfather, who came to Toronto, the brewery, they were very prosperous, successful, etc., etc. Several children, of course, good Catholics. Lawrence Moore Vincent Cosgrave went to McGill, then went to RMC, Royal Military College in Kingston, graduated, and then he joined the Canadian Artillery.
So his last name, Cosgrave.
Cosgrave.
Like his father, Moore Vincent Cosgrave.
He is Lawrence Moore Vincent Cosgrave.
Okay, and then son is...
And the son,
Henry.
is
not Henry.
is Tony, stepson, Tony Cosgrave, who lives in Victoria today. And his daughter
He kind of
was...
disowned the family
No,
when he found out he was adopted.
no. There's a debate.
No, the
I
royal...
wouldn't say that he disowned, but
I'm already confused. The dad comes over from Ireland.
Ireland.
Makes
Starts a brewery.
Has a son.
No.
He
Who
has
is your
several
father?
children. He has several children.
Several children.
Okay, and daughters and sons.
Okay.
One of which is Lawrence Moore Vincent Cosgrave.
Your father.
Grandfather.
Your grandfather.
Okay, my mother's father.
Oh, right.
Okay.
All right.
So his great-grandfather.
Yes.
All right. His being, what's your name? Kyle? Is it Kyle?
Yes.
Oh, good. I like that on the recording, you know. Anyway, Gloria, Rosalind Gloria, mother. Her father goes to McGill, graduates, go to RMC, graduates, joins the Canadian Artillery against his father's wishes. Goes to England, fights in France.
Your father
in the
wanted him to be in the
trenches.
family business.
Didn't want him to go to war.
Okay.
Fighting in the trenches, he loses sight in one eye from shrapnel.
And before that, his eye was very badly damaged at RMC in a boxing fight.
In boxing, yes.
But he managed to get past that.
There is a story, how accurate it is, I don't know, that in the poem in Flanders Field was written on his back in the trenches by the medic, the doctor, and so on and so forth. Whether that is 100%...
Why do you not think it's true? Granddaddy told us that all the time.
The reason I say is because it was found on the ground in quite a different area by another military fellow who read it, who sent it to, I think it was I forget the actual newspaper in London, which they refused, and it was Punch who published it, and then punched it in which was an English magazine, did an investigation, who wrote it, and it finally got to there. Whether it was written on his back or not is immaterial.
But they were friends.
He marries a Canadian girl in Felixstowe, on the south
In
coast.
where?
Felixstowe, the south coast of England. Probably without his parents or her parents knowing.
And how did they meet?
They had met in Toronto, and she had gone to England for some
To get away.
knocky or whatever. Okay. On a drunken night during the war, on leave, Lawrence Moore Vincent Cosgrave wakes up in the morning with a tattoo that goes from here to here of a sword
that was allowed
and a
exactly.
serpent. Okay,
St. George's?
I don't recall. He returns to Canada. He joins what was called External Affairs, and then he's posted here and there, what have you, in China and so on.
And
Now-
Beryl is his wife. She's the
Beryl
one who
is
left
his
for
wife.
Hanky Panky. The same woman who wrote the essay about women. Strange. Interesting.
On leave during the First World War, he decides to go to Ireland to look up these cousins. Because at that point, his father's brother is now the first Prime Minister. It's not called Prime Minister in Ireland, it's got a strange name, but it's the equivalent of Prime Minister of Ireland.
His father's brother, so his uncle.
His uncle. So he communicates with him, and it is agreed that they will meet for lunch at his club in Dublin. So Lawrence goes to the club, like the Mount Royal, grey stone, up the stairs, rings the bell or pulls the chain or whatever it is, and a porter opens the door and looks at him and closes the door. So he pulls the chain again. I have a meet. The porter is closing the door. I have a meeting with Mr. Cosgrave. Closes the door. Door opens. Out comes a man in a dark, basically morning suit. Looks at Lawrence, takes him by the collars, and throws him down the stairs. This is his cousin. He was, because Lawrence was wearing a Canadian Army uniform, which was a British uniform, and the Irish and the Brits did not get along. The next time they meet is in 1950.
So you never got to sit down with his uncle?
Never got to sit down with him. Next time they meet is at the coronation of Queen Elizabeth, 1952. And there, Lawrence Moore Vincent Cosgrave meets two people. One, what was his name? The Prime Minister of Ireland, Cosgrave. And the second one was the second person that he had not seen since the end of the Second World War was the representative of the Emperor who signed the surrender of Japan on the Missouri, where Lawrence represented Canada and he was representing the Japanese. And that's
Who
all.
who signed it on the wrong line?
And he signed on there were two documents, one for the Japanese, one for the Allies, the Americans, and he signed on the wrong line. And
Which caused everybody else to sign on the wrong line.
no,
And they gave that one to the Japanese.
they gave that one to the Japanese, and basically he signed on the line for France. So the French had to sign on the line for Canada, with Canada crossed out and put France, and France crossed out and put Canada. Okay.
So they're at the coronation.
Coronation, he meets an old friend, and he meets a cousin.
His uncle, you mean?
His uncle. I guess it's uncle, yes. And I think that's about it. The rest is history.
So there's no feud.
There's no feud per se, except at the beginning in the First World War. One
But
was
that was
wearing
it.
a British uniform.
Oh, because
Okay.
when your mother told me the story, she said there was some sort of feud over horses.
No, I don't think so.
Over
That
horses
I've not heard.
and horse racing and somebody stealing somebody's horse. Something of that nature.
I would say that might be a bit of creative license. I don't know. Sounds good.
Yeah, I haven't.
Because
heard
I
that
don't.
story.
There was no connection.
No. It was from her. What we had gotten from her was that they bred horses,
I think everyone in Ireland breeds horses.
but for
And in
racing,
Toronto-
and that's
and
where
in
she
Toronto,
had gotten
yes.
her love of horse racing was from that. part of
Sounds
the family.
interesting. I hadn't heard that, but it's the first part sort of makes sense because, like the Dawes Brewery, they had horses to carry the beer around town, delivering beer.
Right.
And the Cosgrave did have a racing, what's it called? Color? A racing color. and they were racing horses. That I do know. In Toronto,
Oh, not in Ireland.
not in Ireland. Well, there was no connection.
Okay.
There was a second time that Lawrence Moore Vincent Cosgrave met his cousin, his uncle or whatever, was somewhere in the 60s because he went to Ireland with Donald MacDonald.
Sweetie, what are you giving him? Because he can't
No.
eat food. He's not allowed crackers, monkey, okay? Babies have to eat special baby food.